Hello, my name is Michael Gans. I'm with iViewNow, and this video is to help you build a site in and navigate the dealer portal. So let's begin. First thing we want to do is we're going to have to go to the internet, and we're going to pull up our iViewNow portal. So we're going to go to ivnview.com/portal, which is up here. We'll enter it. And when we log into the portal, we're going to be using when we set up a dealer in our portal, the first time login would be used with the dealer portal's user's email address. I'm going to put my email address in here now. Right there. And my password. And I'm logged into the portal now. Anyway, I log into the portal. If you'll notice, at the top of the portal, we have 5 tabs. The first tab is Sites. The second tab is Events. The next tab is Reports, Users, and Support. Each one of these tabs are very important to you when you set these things up. First thing I want to do is go to the Support tab, because there's some information in there that you might need before you set up a site. So let's go to Support tabs. And in this Support tab, we have all of our compatible devices that we have tested here at the iViewNow offices. And also in here, we have installation documents. Installation documents you can use these, you can print them out, you can give them to your salesman. This is a sample design of the form right here. It's used to set up a site, or we can go to device configuration form, which we developed at iViewNow to set up a site by the salesman to tell the installer how he wants it to operate. It'll have a customer name, company name, address, all the information here, email address. This is something a tool the salesman can use. You'll have to do a upload speed test and a download speed test at the site. We have to know what kind of what kind of video device that they want at the site, and they want to set up how they want the site to operate. You've got cameras, descriptions, pins, and other information here on the right-hand side that the installer would probably fill out of the site to show you how that the system is programmed. We aren't going to do that right now, but I just wanted to show you where these devices, this information is at. So now we're going to go to the sites, and we'll go discuss each one of these tabs as we go down the line. In the Sites tab, you can see as we're looking down the Sites tabs here, these are all the dealers that we have put on it in our portal. When you have your login credentials for our iViewNow portal, you will only see your site. And if you haven't created a site yet, you won't see you listed here as a dealer yet until you create a site. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a site. And the site we're going to create a site. I'm going to show you what information we need in the site, and then I will show you a site that I created that shows the information in there. So, and the information that we need, where it says required, is here. We've got a user full name, will have their user email address. Now this will be the master user of the customer site. And all this information will show up later as we go through this. When we have an email, we'll confirm the email address here. We can put a cell phone in here, and we'll put their provider in here. We'll put a site name in here, which will be the name of the location where this alarm system is being installed with video verification. Put their zip code in here. Of course, we'll pick a time zone to match where the device is being installed at. And a central station ID. Now, the central station ID is very important because the central station ID is the account number in your automation software that this device is associated with. So if it's account RAD 4460 or IMC 5580 or whatever, that is your central station ID account number. So it's central station ID. So this information is important here because this is how our portal associates the alarms to that central station ID. We got a dealer here, which when you log into your portal, you'll only have your dealer as a selection here. I have all these because I have access to all of them, but you will have the access to only your dealer, and you'll only have access to your central station that you'll be using. So if you had a central station, as in which I set up for my dealer as iView Now. Here, I picked up iView Now as a dealer. Now my choices here are just two choices here. I have Matt's Monitoring Service and I have ESC Central. Well, those are my two choices. If you picked any other dealer, if you were any other dealer, you would have only your choice there. If you are a central station, you have multiple dealers. You would pick up your multiple dealers here, and they would be associated to your central station also. This is all good information that we have to know, because what I will show you now is from that information. I will show you what a site looks like when that information is added. We're going to go to this site that I built under my dealership here, and there I am here, Mike Gann's test account. I'm going to open that up here. I'm going to edit the event, edit the device, and I look up here, go pull up my full customer detail information, and here's all the information that I entered into that portal. All this information is very good information that you have to have in the portal. If I go back, we'll discuss this other information here in a minute, but if I go back here, when you did all the information in the portal, you also have issued this my portal login information here and my customer portal URL, or the way I get into my customer portal. Also down here, also customer portal users. When I put my name in there and built that account, I am the first person owner. I am the master user of the account, and this is all information that I entered into my portal. Now we'll go back to sites, and to show you how to navigate through this portal, if you know what your central station ID is, you can find the site from that. If you know the site name, you can find the site from that. And if you know the email that was associated with that site, if I go back to my device that I built, that site, this email address right here that I built in my portal, when I built the portal, that email address right there, I copy and paste this. I do it this way. And I'll go back to my sites. And I want to find it. I can put my email in here. And it'll look for that site right there. And these are all the sites that I am associated with in the portal. And here's my site that I've been working on right here, is this site right here. If I want to find the site by a site name, I can start putting my name in here. And there's a bunch of mics there. So I see mic sheet test right there. Click that. Now I pulled up my site here that I've created. If I know my central station ID, I can put that in here, and I can put A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's my site there. I click that, and there's my site again. So I can locate my sites using the central station ID, using the site name, or using the email that's associated with that site. Now let's go back to the create a site. And after we entered all this information here, you'll come down here and you're going to enter your billing code information. And we're going to discuss each one of these that are available for you right now. So on this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, these 4 lines are available for you right now. These 2 lines here, alarm.com, these are in the future. We are developing future uses for these. And we also have available in our site these 4 here. These are for AlarmNet and Total Connect, and we'll go over that here in a minute too. To describe these now, what the billing codes are for is if you have videofied alarms, videofied systems out there on your sites, these are the billing codes that you'll use for videofied alarms. Now if you have videofied motion viewers that are you're using inside for alarm verification only, you would pick videofied alarm indoor. If you have videofied motion viewers outside watching perimeter areas or watching outside storage facilities or watching outside storage areas, you would pick videofied alarm outdoor, because of course there's going to be more activity outdoor than there is indoors, so there'll be more intervention from the central station. So there's a price difference between these two. Now these 2 here, active video indoor, active video outdoor, those are for if you're using an NVR or a DVR or access cameras with motion analytics, or a Vigilon with motion analytics, or check video with motion analytics. This is where you'll be picking those billing codes here. And again, if it's active video indoor and you're using cameras that are inside the building to verify an alarm, or if you've got cameras that are outside a building that are looking at a perimeter door for indoor use inside, then you'll pick active video indoor. If you have outdoor cameras that are picking up a gate or a photo beam outside, or cameras looking outside over something that's being alarmed outside on your alarm system, and you're going to trigger these cameras for outdoor video verification, you're going to put active video outdoor, which between these 2 there are price differences for that too. And what I said before is alarm.com, indoor and outdoor, that is for future use. Now also we have available AlarmNet signaling for the active video indoor and AlarmNet signaling with active video outdoor. Again, we're using AlarmNet and we're using video DVRs or NVRs. And that would, again, if you're using if you're only video alarm verifying action inside a building or to an entrance to a building, you would do AlarmNet signaling indoor. If you have any AlarmNet signaling outdoor, again, photo beams, outdoor motions, outdoor gate contacts, if they're being viewed by a camera, you would you choose Active Video Outdoor. And then if you're using Total Connect solution for iView Now, if you have outdoor cameras that are looking at outdoor areas that you're going to send video alarm verification for an outdoor protection, you're going to pick Video Alarm Outdoor. If you're doing indoor, you're going to have Total Connect Alarm Indoor. The next set of squares we have down here, selections, is alerts. Now alerts are a signaling system that has no central station intervention. If you have a door or a safe or a liquor cabinet or something that has an alarm contact on it that you have determined it's going to be an alert for the customer, you're going to program the system in such a way that if someone opens that door, opens that safe or something like that, the customer is going to get an email or a text message telling them that that door has been opened and someone's gone in it. They'll get a video of that, and that goes directly to the customer only. There is no central station intervention at all with these two alerts. Also, on this billing codes, we also provide guard tours. And guard tours you can build into the system that you can have 30, 40, 31, 40, or 62. And also we can do custom guard tours for you too, to get you your billing codes for custom guard tours also. But you set these up, and these do require central station intervention, because when you schedule guard tours, the signal will come to the central station operator, and they will have 10 minutes to go through a guard tour of the entire property that you have cameras on. And this is a good way to see if your cameras are working good, or cameras are working at all, if they're unfocused, if they're dirty. And of course the central station can give you a report on that or give your dealer a report on that. After you've chosen your billing codes here, you're going to have to tell them that you understand that creating this account will occur a one-time activation fee, and then when you do that, it will let you create the site. So let's go back to a site that's already created, and we'll do my site again that I've already built here, and we'll go through information on that site that we require. Oops, wrong one. Here we are, and we're going to go to my site. I've got ABC1234 my GAN site. So I'm going to go here. If you look on the site, you've got 5 icons here. You have edit the site. You have events. We'll go over that here in a bit. We've got walk test. We've got disable video, and we've got reports. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to edit this site. We're clicking on here, and you'll notice that I've got my customer detail here, which I've already filled out. And we've got our customer portal users here, but we have no devices. We see we have no devices here. So we're going to add a device to this site. We're going to add this device, so click on Add Device. And in my instance here, I'm going to be using a relay off of an alarm panel to trigger my NVR or DVR, whichever I have at the site. And it's very site-specific when you set these up. Our choices here for this location is we can use Honeywell AlarmNet. Bosch Alarm Panel is for future use. So you have 2 choices. You have Relay Standalone or Honeywell AlarmNet. So in this instance, we're going to use Relay Standalone. And I'm going to add a signal path, which is our IP signal path, which is going to be a video device. So in our video device, I got to pick a make. And if you look, when I pull the drop down here, we have lots of different choices here. Lots of different choices. Each one is site-specific. In my instance, I have a Honeywell device set up here at the shop. So I'm going to pick Honeywell. And now I have to pick the specific model of the Honeywell device. In my instance here, I have a HQA device, a 4-channel HQA, which is this HRHH1 108. Actually, I'm going to use the 104. Use the 104. And that's my model number there. So I've got a Honeywell HRHM104X, which is an HQA model. And I'm going to confirm it, that that's what I have at the site. And now, when I go back to the site, I will see I created my device. And when I created a device in the portal also created some information for me. So I will expand this, and you'll see the information that's been added. On the first bar here, you'll see an SMTP account ID. That is an email address. That is very important because that is information that the installer needs when he goes out to the site, because he has to enter this information into the DVR or the NVR that he has on site. The second line down here is the SMTP server port. In this instance, we'll go through server ports here when we set up the DVR, and I'll show you the differences in the ports. But the ports will be 9116 or 3480, depending on the security of the video that we're going to be sending. And if we use SSL, we use port 9116. If we don't use SSL protocol, then we will use port 3480 for the email server port. You also notice here that it issued some port information. This is all standardized port information that the DVR comes with automatically from the factory. This we can change. If these ports are being used at the site, we can change these ports at the site. We also have the time zone where it was set up at. And you notice here it has no alarm inputs assigned to this device. So with this device now, with alarm inputs and device information, we're going to edit this device. And in order to edit this device, we'll click on Edit This Device. And we'll get this information again right here. You've got all the information we started with. And all this information was created by the portal when we created the device in the portal. So again, this SMTP email address is created by the portal. It is a one-time shot. It cannot be edited. If you change devices at the site, you must reissue the device at the site, and it will issue a new SMTP address. There is other information on here that's concealed. If you look, we got a device username and a device password. If we click on the magnifying glass here, it's going to tell you that this is going to be logged because we're looking at sensitive data. We open that up, and we'll notice here that the device username has been generated by the portal, and also the device password has been generated by the portal. This can be edited. If the installer likes if the installer or you're a dealer or the company wants a particular admin password and user password, they can edit that here. In my instance here, I have admin as the username here, but I have a different password here. And my password that I put in here is that's my password there. That's going to match my password in my device. Also, I've used different ports here. So this is where you can edit the ports. I've used port 8000. I'm sorry, port 8100 for the TCP port. The other port we care about is the HTTP port or the web port. And on this one, I'm using port 8101. And the other port that we're interested in is the RTSP port, which stands for Real-Time Signaling Protocol. And I am using port 8102 for this port. Now, before I send settings to this, before I save changes on this device, I have some other information here that I need, and that's going to be this part right here that gives me my device IP address. Now, my device IP address is the device IP address of it's the public IP address at the site, or it's a DDNS domain name that we have created in a DDNS website to use. We can use, if the customer has a static IP, you put the IP address in here. If they don't have a static IP and you want to use a DDNS service, you can put that information in here. In my instance here, I do know what my IP information is, so I'm going to put that in here, and it is 24.234.90.238. So I've got that information in there now, and I want to save the changes. So I save the changes. Changes are saved. It's gone back to this device. It's gone back to this screen here. Now I want to expand this here, because when I expand this here, I've got this check now on my screen. I check the device now, and I should get connection successful because I've got the ports opened that I started with here. I've got the SMTP. I've got the location IP address here, and everything matches. And so it shows now that our portal is now connected to that device. Now that we got the portal connected to the device, we need to edit this device again, because I have to tell this device how it's going to work. So I edit this device again, and we look down here at the bottom. We've got alarm events. In alarm events, we've got columns here, a PIN column. PIN in this instance means the alarm input terminal on the back of the DVR or the NVR. Normally, if you have a 4-channel DVR, it has 4 inputs. If you have an 8-channel DVR or NVR, it has 8 inputs. If you have a 16-channel, of course, it has 16 inputs. Right down the line. So in this instance, we're going to add an event to this device, and we're going to start with pin 1, and I want it to trigger camera 1, and I'm going to trigger it on an alarm, and the alarm is going to be a general description of where the area is. So it's going to be, I'm going to put front door in there. So front door is my. So what this information tells me right now, that when alarm input pin is triggered on the back of the DVR, it's going to generate an email clip from camera 1, and it's going to email to the central station along with the alarm notification, so the central station now has video of what caused that alarm. If I want to add another event, if I have another camera on site, I can go here. I'm going to do pin 2. I'm going to pick, or I'd say camera 2 is going to be the camera that's being triggered. Again, it's going to be for an alarm, and I'm going to make it a back door. And I've got those devices. Now you can go on down the line. You have 4 choices here. In this instance, we have 5 choices. But you have 4 choices here because you have 4 inputs on the back of the DVR. And we're going to save the changes. And went back to the site. So now if I expand my device now again, you're going to notice that I've got my alarm inputs going in here. And this is how my device will operate. When I get an alarm and triggers pin 1, it's going to trigger video from camera 1 to the central station. If I get an alarm on pin 2, it's going to generate a video clip that is emailed to the central station along with the alarm. Again, to go back over the information that was entered into this device. Again, you cannot edit this information here, this email, SMTP email address. You cannot edit this. This is hard-coded, and it's generated a different one for every device. This information here is the public IP at the site. This information here, under the username and password, is how you log into the DVR. This is your admin login. This This is how you log into the DVR, and this has to match here and in the DVR itself. These are the ports that we have forwarded at the location, the 8100, 8101, and 8102. And these ports have to match here and in the DVR also. Again, we save changes. Also in this device here, for edit this device, let me bring this back up again. You notice this button right here. When we finished with our integration of the new Honeywell NVRs and DVRs, and with certain other devices here, this settings here, we can send these devices, we can send these settings that we've made in this portal to the device automatically, and it will program the DVR or the NVR for us, and the installer does not have to program the DVR. But as of right now, until we get the Honeywell and the other devices up to and integrated correctly, we can't use this button here, because this button here doesn't operate, doesn't work just yet. It's still under development. But we save changes to our device. It'll take us back to our portal, and we're right here. Now, you see on here you don't have to worry about IP gateway, you don't have to worry about a DMP panel. These are all future integrations that we're doing. But if you look right here, this installer configuration form, when I created the information in the portal, it should have this installer configuration form here. In this instance, I'm using a different portal, so it's not showing you what the information is we need. Let me grab a different site and show you what information is there for an installer. The installer is some stuff the installer should really have information of. I'm just going to pick one here. Pull up the site, the installation configuration form. If you look at this installation configuration form, it shows the customer's name, their location, their portal URLs, their SMTP email address, their server address, ID, and the port that it's using. And these are the client ports here. This information can be printed out, and you can give that to the installer so that he can take it with him to the site, so he has this information, he can set it up. And again, it's very important that he has this information here, and here, and here when he gets to the site. Okay, let's go back to the sites again, and we'll discuss some of these other tabs that we have at the top. Before we do this, though, I want to go back and I just want to reiterate a few things about the sites. When you create the site in the portal, I'll go back to my site again. Well, before I do that, again, like I said, I was looking for that site. I want to go directly to my site. Go right there. It pulls up the site right here. I can click on this. It takes me directly to my site. Go back to this information here on the edit page. Bring this information back up here. Again, I want to reiterate on this information here. The SMTP email address is generated per device, and it's very device specific. So if you put a device on the site, and if you change the device on the site, you're going to have to delete the device you have on the site, and you're going to have to add another device. And to do this, just go to add a device. Let's say they change the device at the site. We're going to remove this site from this device from the site. Now we got to add a new video device. So let's say we added a new video device, and again it's going to be a Honeywell. It's going to be a Honeywell device. And let's say they changed it from a 4-channel device to an 8-channel device. So we're going to do that. We're going to confirm it. We're going to go back to the site. We go back to the site. You notice that it got changed here, and it issued a completely different SMTP email address. And again, we start all over again from this, and we'll add all this information. We'll edit all this information because this is the information that we need for the device to work. So let's go on to the other sites that we have now. So let's go back to our general page. We're going to go to events. Events are similar. You can look up events similar to the way you look up sites. In this instance, what you see here, since I have access to all sites on our portal, you're going to see all the information, all the events that are happening in our portal. When you log in, you will just see events on your site only, from your sites only, from your devices only. So we're going to pick my device again and see if I have any events. So we're going to put in here my site ID. I'm going to click on here, and it's going to tell me if I have any sites, if I have any events on my site. And you see right here we have no events because I haven't tested anything. But if I had devices, if I had tested it, you would see my events here. I can take you to another site that we know has had events. We'll just pull up one here that I know we tested recently. And we'll go to this one right here. It's this. It's going to be this site right here. So again, I'm going to go to events. And I'm going to copy and paste that site there. Click on this here, and you can see right here that that I have a lot of events that we've triggered from that device right here, and it's all just from that one device. This is everything that we've done testing-wise. You can see all the devices. It has multiple pages here, and you can see everything that's happened here that we've set up. If you had a device that tripped, we have an event in there. We'll pull it up. We see clip received. Pull up clip received, and here's our clip that we received from that site when we tested it the other day. That's how we look up sites and events. Go back to events here, general events. Go to events. There's all of our events here. Now we're going to skip reports for right now. We're going to go to users. Okay, and users, when you log into your user, when you're on your portal and you log into user, you're only going to see your users that you have here, and you can add users. Your master user can add users here. You can edit users, and you can see what their permissions are, the different permissions. So we've got admin, which is me. I'm omnipotent, so I can have everything. You go to a master user of the site, and this is all information this is all permissions that he has. The central station manager has everything that's grayed out is what you can use. He can't delete anything, but everything that's grayed here is all the permissions that he has. Data entry has these permissions. Installation manager has these. Central station has these. Data entry has these. Again, you can see the permissions have all changed. These are all the permissions that the different users have. The master user, of course, has permissions for everything. All right. So everything, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Everything grayed out is information that the user permissions do not have. Go to my site here. It shows I'm admin. If we went to another person here, you'd see that they're a central station agent. We go to a different person here, you see they're a central station manager. So you can see that difference in your master user on your site is the one that can add these users, deactivate users, or edit the users. To edit the users, let me go to my user right here, and let's say I want to edit my user. It won't let me. Evidently, it won't let me add. It won't let me edit my user, but I go to a different user here, and I can edit this user here. Bring this user up. But that's how you do it. You'll have access to these users, to the users on your site. All these users are all the sites that I have, so these are all my sites that I've added users to. These are all users I've added to the sites. But these are users of the portal, the dealer portal. These are not users of the site. These are users of the dealer portal. Now again, let's go back and we'll touch base on the support tab again. Support tab has all the different devices that we have integrated into Honeywell. Into iView Now, and we are adding more at all time. We are now testing about 6 other devices right now, but we add all the time. We will be updating this here in the near future also. And again, installation documents here that I showed you earlier briefly. This here shows you a little information on what this form here, installation configuration form, works. Again, this could be what your salesman used. He says, all right, I want pin 1 to trigger camera 1. I want it as an alarm, and I want the front door. I want pin 2 to trigger camera 1. I want an alarm, and I want it to be in front motion. One thing I want to let you know about this information right here is in our portal, we can only have 1 pin to 1 camera. You can't have 1 pin to different cameras. You can't have 2 pins to the same camera. There's one exception to that, and I'll show you that in the portal when I set it up. When I go back to the site that I set up. But in this instance, it's 1 input, 1 camera. 1 input, 1 camera. And that's when it pertains to alarms. So it's input 1 to 1 camera. Input 2, another camera. Input 3, another camera. Input 4, another camera. I'm going to show you the exception here as soon as we get done with the rest of this deal here. And also the salesman should give you a site diagram of how he wants this thing to work. Okay, this is going to be entry exit here. This is camera 1. This is the motion detector zone 2. Here's camera 2. Here's a hold up button. It's 3. Keypads here. Again, we got a door contact. We got a camera here. And this is camera 3. Door contact is zone 4. Also, under the installation documents, we have this configuration form I talked about earlier. And this is something else that the salesman can fill out for the installer. Again, it shows camera 1, where that camera is located, and what pin is supposed to be triggered. Camera 2, description of where it's at, and what pin. We can go right down the line. Now this on the left-hand side can be filled out by the salesman. The right-hand side is what the installer can fill out. This was basically set up for using a Honeywell Vista panel. So this follows the programming in the Vista panel real close. So we can enter this information here by hand, and we take this paper back to our dealer, back to our office, and they can put this in the file. It'll be a hard copy for how this system is set up in the portal and in the DVR and in the alarm panel. And again, all the documents we have here for all the different devices. And we are working with Honeywell. We don't have the Honeywell HRQ on here yet, but if I go to Honeywell HRGX, you'll notice this is an installation book. This book was written by iViewNow, and all it does is supplements the installation manual of the device itself. This just shows you how to set up the device to work with iViewNow. It's really easy. It's step by step. Just follow it step by step through the system, through the setup. And as you go through step by step, you have screenshots here of what you should see on the screen when you're programming the device. It tells you what information you should enter into the device. And again, it's step by step by step. When the installer goes to the site to install the system, they should have that installer configuration form, and they should also have the book that goes with that DVR, NVR that they're using. Very simple setup, very simple follow. It's step by step. It's all written in language that the layman can understand. The installer should certainly understand it. This is also information to get a hold of us. You can send your email address here, and it'll send this information to our tech support, our support email, and then we'll get that and we'll get back to you. Or you can email directly to us. You can call us direct. Now we talked about these four. Let's go to reports. We're going to touch this real briefly. On the reports, we can have reports per subscribers, or we can have reports per devices. We've opened subscribers reports. Again, we'll show here we can pick the dealer, whatever dealer we're going to use, central station we're going to use, or site we're going to use. We're going to use sites. It lists all the sites that are on the location, or that are at your local, that are on your portal. It'll have any dealers that are on your portal, and it'll have any central stations that's on your portal, which will probably be just one central station. And it's real simple: a creation date, start date, end date, your signal summary, downtime summary, anything. It's real simple, and you submit it, and you'll get a report. Now let's go to let's find my device. Let's go to my site. Go to my site that I created. We'll just grab any part, any site here. Well, we got them in alphabetical, so we'll go to alphabetical. I'm having a problem finding my site. I have so many of them here. We'll just pick any of them right here. Any site, creation date. We'll go by activated dates, fine. Start date, today's date, end date, today's date. And we want to have device info. Let's say hit submit. And evidently there's no information for that. But with your site specific areas, you should be fine. And that's your reports. There may have been no reports for that device or subscribers. You go to subscribers, creation date, you can pick these two. Let's go dealer And creation date, start date again. We'll try today's date. Actually, we'll try yesterday's date to today's date. And we want to go signal summary, submit. And there's my, it'll pull up this. It shows nothing activated, nothing deactivated, neither, or it'll give me all the information here. The dealer, the branch, the central station, customer, all this information here will be a nice little concise report for you. So again, let's go back over our five tabs. We got Sites tab, which can let you look for sites, create sites, edit sites. Got our events page where you can see different events that have happened in the portal. And you can look at events per central station ID, site name, or the email associated with it. Users. You can look for users on here. You can add users, edit users. You can deactivate users, all from this site here. It'll be just users that are on your site. You won't have access to any other dealers, but you'll have users on your site. And you can create your own users. You can deactivate your own users. Again, your support tab shows you our different support material, installation documents, and to contact us via email here. Or again, if you have our number, you can call us direct, or you can email us if you have our email address. Again, you can contact us from this site here. Let me go back to our sites now, because there's a couple other information. There's some more information I want to talk about. We're going to go to my site that I built, and we're going to go to this site right here. And you notice right here it's got, I touched on the events tab. You can get the events tab from here, or you can get the events tab from up here. Walk test. You put on walk test. You have to set up at least one device in order to place this site on walk test. So I have to have a device set up. I don't have a device set up right now. But that's our walk test feature. And what that does is it logs into walk test. So when you go to events, which I showed you earlier, go to events from earlier. You go down here, you can see walk test events at the bottom. These would be walk test events that you can see when you do walk test. And that shows you that you tested camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, and they all work and everything is working fine. Let's go back to the sites again. Again, we'll go to my site that I created. You see here where it says disable video. Let's say you have a system that's a runaway for a weekend. You can't get a hold of anybody at the site. You can't get a hold of anybody on the call list. And the video is just running away for some reason. We have no idea why. The device is going bad. Somebody's tripping it, and something's tripping it all the time continuously. It's just sending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of video clips via email. You can, and you're tying up your central. You can set it. You can disable the video here, and it will. If I disable the video, I can disable the video for a certain amount of time. I can take it offline. I can disable the alarms, all this here, and then of course you'll have to notice that you'll have to let the customer know, and you'll have to know that it should be enabled again. This is all your responsibility. And of course you got reports for that site also right here. So this is all step 4 as you go through your site, and you can't break it. You can just be careful what information you enter into your site. And again, like I said, this section here is all device specific. So if you're not going to use this device and you're going to change it, you need to go to Add Device. We're going to remove that device because we're not using that device any longer. And we want to add a new device here. So we're going to choose the make. Again, we're going to go to Honeywell, and let's just say it's, for some unknown reason, we went all the way back to, we decided to go, instead of having analog cameras or high definition cameras, we decided to go to a NVR. We click on NVR here, and we confirm it. And we've confirmed it now. We go back to the site, and we see now it's changed the device. We expand it, and now I have all new different information here on my site. So this is, like I said, it's very, very device specific. So you have to know what device is going in at the site so you can build the site. We'll touch base real quickly on some other devices, because we'll cover other things here in the future. But I talked earlier in this video that where we use the relay standalone. I'm going to remove that relay standalone, if it'll let me. Yes, I want to remove that. It won't let me change it. But if I was going to change something here, I'd go here, and let's say I want to use Honeywell AlarmNet. And now I'm going to add a signal path with Honeywell AlarmNet. So I got Honeywell AlarmNet. I'm going to add a device. If I'm going to use AlarmNet, I'm going to add a device. If you look at the device here, there's very few choices here. We got Honeywell or Spico for using the Honeywell AlarmNet. We are still working on the Honeywell devices. We have integrated Spico for AlarmNet. We know that it works now. We are working on the Honeywell devices right now to verify that they are good for AlarmNet. But this is where you choose these devices here. If you pick Honeywell, again, you have very limited choices again for the AlarmNet devices. We're going to pick up Total Connect. Total Connect's a different animal. We're going to use, let's say we're going to use this HEN16 for a Honeywell. We can add that. We can confirm it, and it's added to the site now. We go back to the site, and we've added that device to the site also, and we got Honeywell AlarmNet. So we got Honeywell AlarmNet, and when you in another video, we will cover Honeywell AlarmNet and how you program the Honeywell AlarmNet in this port here, to how we get it and how we get it to trigger this DVR, so this NVR. So we'll follow that, cover that in another video. But that's the conclusion of this video. So thank you very much. In this video, I want to show you a test we can use when we're on site to check and see if UPnP is available, because some sites you can forward ports to the DVR. Some sites you may not know what the username and password is for the router, so you may not be able to get into the site. And to use UPnP, I want you to understand that UPnP was designed for, and this is straight out of the dictionary. To describe UPnP. UPnP is intended primarily for residential networks without enterprise class devices. In other words, not a real fancy network. You can use it for small businesses too, I'm sure. But to use UPnP, if you don't have the credentials to get into the router, you can use this URL that I'm going to show you on here to go to test the device, test the port, test the network, and see if the UPnP is available for you to use. So we're going to use http:// IBN.demo.com. You go to this site here, and it shows up here this yellow button that says download UPnP test applications. So we'll download that information here. It's come up here. We're going to click on it to open it up. We're going to run it. And now it's testing my network. We'll let the test run here. Okay, there's our test. Tells us our router public IP, still testing. Okay, it tells me my public IP, tells me my upload speed. You show here, this here shows ports open. These ports are available for use. It doesn't mean they're open, it just means they're available for use. Also, you see here it says UPnP enabled. It says unknown. All right. Evidently the UPnP is not enabled here. It would tell you yes, it's enabled here. And it would tell you other information here. And it'll send, you can send the results to a certain email, client name. You can do whatever you want with it, but basically it should be a tool for the installer to use at the site. And that is the UPnP test. And in our documentation for the devices, we go back to our portal. Go to our portal. We don't want this one. Okay, we're going back to our login. We'll log in. Go to our support page. I'm going to go to the Honeywell HRGX here. And if I'm not mistaken, right, it has UPnP. It may have UPnP, router settings and port forwarding, page 12. Okay, we're going to configure this. Here's the information here on the page, right here. And it says to skip this section if UPnP is enabled. And then we come down here to our next settings. You can see this information here. It talks about the UPnP and if it's enabled, how to set it up. In our new manuals that will be coming out from our new devices for Honeywell and Spico, it'll talk about UPnP here. And it shows all this information in our portal.